Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Dina the Explorer, a free thinker who often has unpopular opinions. So, if you are open to a different perspective, please stick around. Disclaimer, there will be shady moments. And as always, like and subscribe for more. So, we're talking about love and marriage, Huntsville today. And I don't typically talk about it, but this is season 3, episode 11, and I have been watching the entire season. However, this is probably the second time that I'm talking about the show. So, the episode opens up with Tisha. It's about Tisha is trying to get Marsau to do something fun for their 15th anniversary. So she decides to book this wedding chapel to renew their vows. But Marsau is adamant that he doesn't want to renew any vows. That's the whole theme of the show. But the episode actually opens, it starts off with Kimmy and Maurice discussing the night before the drama that was had between Tisha, the new annoying girl Tiffany, and Destiny. Tiffany carried her husband's bone back to the ladies about Marsau not being happy with Tisha's surprise therapy session. This is like the catalyst to the entire drama that's going to ensue. So, it's also funny. It's always funny to me that people tell their spouses, this is a side note, tell their spouses on these shows the day after or a few days after the drama really happens. When it's like, if I came home after a drama-filled night, I'm going to tell the friend, wake up. Guess what just happened? But no, like Martin said, this is TV. So we then see the annoying newlyweds and new members of the cast, Tiffany and Lewis, discussing the drama and how it went too far. This girl, Tiffany, who is so annoying. I don't think she fits into the cast. She just doesn't fit in, and she came in too hot. And she says, I'm not confrontational. I was like, so what do you call your behavior that you've exemplified on the show, Tiffany? You came in talking about monster vaping in the bathroom to Kimmy, who you don't even know. You came in strong, abrasively telling her about that. And you basically ruined Destiny's birthday brunch, which you weren't even invited to. She didn't even know you, and you came in and ruined that. You had the girl crying in the bathroom. So, it's like, who are you? Are you that self unaware? So then we see, Melody and her bad wig and her bad contouring sitting down with Destiny talking about Tiffany. Melody can't understand. I don't know. Do you not like Tiffany? I can't tell if you don't like her. Mel, no one likes Tiffany. No one likes Tiffany. Carlos King, I know you're not listening because I only have 400 some subscribers, but no one likes Tiffany. Who thought that Tiffany was a good idea for the show? And then it's again, you invited this girl to Destiny's birthday brunch and she ruined it. She made the girl cry in the bathroom. So how could I like this girl? We may be coexisting and filming, but I haven't forgotten if I'm Destiny. So, they discuss this back and forth, and Destiny mentions to Mel, hey, you always taking up for her, always checking in on her, taking her side on situations, and it was your face. You were making all these faces, and then shady producers cut to Destiny and all her faces, everything that Tiffany said, but rightfully so. Even if this didn't have anything to do with me, her beef with Tisha, or what she's saying to Tisha, I can still be offended by it and make my faces. That's what I'm going to do. Make my faces. But, she stepped into it. So in another part of the house, and this is the part that begins my triggering. This is why I actually decided to get on here. We have Tisha and Marsau discussing the night before from, of course, Tisha's angle that, she said that Lewis said you were mad at me about the surprise therapy session, and she said that I must be insecure. There must be an insecure in you. Here's the thing. I may not speak correct English at all times, but when I hear it speaking poorly, I cringe. I hear my grandmother correcting people. That's That's just something that's been ingrained in me. Like it's insecurity in you, Tisha. And then she says, and that's the thing, you can have 1,000,000 degrees like Tisha and still not have a grasp of the English language. Some may say it's her dialect, like the lady, her coach said, but I really just think Tisha just doesn't know because Wanda didn't know how to speak correct English. Anyhow, Tisha explains, I'm not insecure about nothing. Tisha, you aren't insecure? The one who was worried about Kyra from Ready to Love pushing up on Marsau, the girl in the red dress? Or, Tisha, didn't you pull Maurice to the side to say, watch your husband, when y'all go out in Vegas? Because these girls, like, Tisha, I closed my case. You're insecure. And it's okay, own it. You have some insecurities. But here's where the triggering comes in. Marsau is always gaslighting Tisha. And I know gaslighting is like one of the most popular words next to narcissism that's used on reality TV shows and in the world today. Because there's so much narcissism and gaslighting going on in the world today. So, like, Marsau always knows how to put a spin on something. And Marsau and Tisha have very much so a child-parent relationship, father-daughter relationship. Marsau is always having to explain something to Tisha in a very elementary way, as if he was talking to a 6-year-old. And she receives it like a 6-year-old. Marsau goes on to tell her, at what point do you dismiss people, basically? Because, Tisha's like, well, it's like people like, like Marsau's like, you can't listen to outside sources. I don't think you're insecure, but I think you're insecure. You have some insecurities. Yeah, we all do. Yeah, but like you can't let these outside sources get into your mind. Like he says, he dismisses all that stuff. And this is where I agree with Marsau. Like, yes, like Tisha, you've been married to this man because Marsau's like, we go to sleep together, we wake up together, we eat together. 90% of our lives are spent together, Tisha. So it's like you letting some people who you wouldn't even take financial advice from, people who aren't even married, you're letting them enter your mind. Like, I agree with him on that. At the same time, let's just like be real. You haven't given her any reason, Marsau, to feel secure, to feel loved. Like every moment she's trying to have a moment with you of romance. Like when y'all are in Houston, you push her away. She wants to spend time with you. All she's asking is for you to spend some time with her and do some family things. And you keep putting it off on you working for the family. Give you time. Like, listen, you're not working that hard because you actually let Jalen be the general manager of your black cigar bar lounge. And like, how smart is that? So you're not working that smart. You may be working hard, Marsau, but you're not working that smart. It's just like, how hard are you really working? You were able to come on this trip, so why can't you just go along to get along? Just do something for your wife, make her feel good. But no, Marsau is stuck on being Marsau and being, like being in control of Tisha. And Marsau says, baby, you can take trips with the kids. It's not because I don't want to be there. It's just because I'm working. Like, she wants to take a trip with you and the family. She wants her kids to feel like they're in this family that she probably didn't have. And that's the funny thing. Is like, Tisha, you're trying to create this ideal family that you necessarily you probably didn't even have with Wanda. Because I can almost guess that you didn't take family vacations with your father and Wanda. Like, where is your father? Who is your father, Tisha? But that's a lot of people have these ideals that they believe is how marriage and a family should be, because they saw it on TV or they just created these ideals. But Marsau is telling her, like, listen, I'm not on board with that. I'm trying to work hard and kill myself and get these 47 acres out. Like, he is not interested in this whole thing. He's interested in securing the bag, which is like, Marsau, come on, give it a rest. If you're really trying to secure the bag, again, why do you have Jalen as your general manager? Like, seriously, I'm going to always go back to that. Jalen has no restaurant experience, but yet you made him general manager, inexperienced, fresh out of college. you made him the manager of a restaurant. And everybody knows restaurants tend to fail in the first year or so, but yet you made Jalen. So you're not really trying to secure this bag the way you say. And then also, like, we have yet to see any finished products on any of these properties that you all are so-called building. So how hard are you truly working, Marsau? So Tisha's just really just trying to get Marsau to do something different and have fun, and Marsau is committed to not having fun or doing something lighthearted with Tisha. Like maybe he's just a serious person, but he doesn't really come across with that little slick tongue of his as being that serious. But it's like he's probably that person who just needs to be in control at all time and doesn't like to make fun of himself. He likes to make fun of others. That's what I get from Marsau. He has to be seen as cool at all times. Like Tisha's just like, let's just go to the chapel. I already paid for it. Let's go to the chapel and let's just have fun. Let's just be goofy. Let's just do something different. And he's like, Tisha, when people want to do something different, something crazy in Vegas, it's usually something sexual. Okay. It was the okay for me that just made it sent me over the edge, because it's like, Marsau, you're talking to her like she's a toddler. Like she just can't grasp basic concepts. Now, like, I don't think Tisha is the smartest person, but she has enough degrees so she can take a test. If you put it in a multiple choice category, I think she could get A, B, C, or D right. So it's like, Marsau, why are you talking to her like she's 5 or 6? But that's how she receives it, and he's able to gaslight her. But so then Tisha goes on to talk to the new girl, Tiffany and Lewis. You know, they are the bone carriers. They are the ones who are here. The producer said, listen, if you're going to be on this show, you're going to have to bring the drama. You're going to have to, like, have all the hard conversations that these cast members are not having anymore. If you want to solidify your spot on this show, Tiffany and Lewis, you got to, like, go in real hard and go in fast. People may not like you, but that's what you're here for. So, action. Yeah, so Marsau, you know, he don't want to do the renewal, the vow, so I just want to do lighthearted, go to the chapel, we're going to renew our vows, and they're just listening intently, and they're going to say something. So then, the couples head out, they leave the Airbnb, they're all dressed and ready to go, paint the town, paint the chapel, whatever, and, poor Tiffany. Tiffany looks like she is wearing a dress straight out of a Simplicity pattern, like she made it herself. It just, like, I don't get it, lady. And she also had on these yellow peep toe shoes, like kitten heels at that. And I'm just like, Tiffany, did you not know you were coming to, like, the town of Sin City, where people, like, just wear nothing for the sake of it, like, because you're in Sin City, like, it's a little bit extra gaudy, a little bit of shimmer here, shimmer there. You're in Sin City, like, let loose. But she is dressed like Molly Maids, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, this group really isn't that fashionable. Like, did you see what Kimmy had on? She had on, like, this netting, this, like, shimmery netting over her dress. Kind of looked like a church lady trying to, step out a little bit, step out of the church. And then she had these, like, long earrings, and she was just over accessorized. I always feel like Kimmy is over accessorized. And Mel just, the wig just kind of ruined any look she could have possibly had. And Letitia's dress wasn't that bad. I didn't mind it. It just didn't fit. It's ill-fitting. It's too small for Tisha. Tisha was popping out, but I guess that was her goal, to pop out so Marsau could take notice, which Marsau's not going to take notice, although. So they're in this party bus, this shuttle bus going to the chapel, and they're all, like, joking around, like, look at you. We had a good time last night. Yeah. You had a lap dance. A boob popped out. Ooh, Destiny's boob popped out too. And the guys are laughing along. Ha 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 ha. Ooh, Tiffany, your boob popped out. Like, okay, we get it. Boobs popped out. And Marsau and Melanie actually exchanged some, compliments to each other. Marsau did look decent, although he had moose knuckle all day. It's like, that's all I could see was that moose knuckle. But the pink suit wasn't that tight. And Marsau even made a joke saying, he dresses according to how Maurice and Martell are dressing. Like, he's like, whatever they wear, I'm going to dial it back. And so, they go on. And then they, arrive at the chapel. This is where all the awkwardness starts. So they arrive at the chapel, and there's a discussion. Well, basically, what are we doing at the chapel? Because Marsau is adamant. I am not renewing my vows here today, and I'm not going to play along to get along. I'm not going to do anything to make Tisha think that I'm into this renewal or fun time at the chapel. You know, it would have been fun had they gone to an Elvis chapel. That would have been interesting. You know, like, it could have been a little, like, it could have been cartoony and maybe he would have gotten into it. But instead, the pastor, as they called her, who's going to preside over the renewal, was just kind of, you know, blonde, plastic surgery, kind of flat looking. So she didn't have much personality. But maybe had they gone to an Elvis or some sort of real campy chapel, Marsau would have played along. I don't know. I'm guessing not, because Marsau just doesn't spark me as a person who's going to be vulnerable at any time. He's always that person who has to be cool at all times. He has to be cool. I don't get upset. I kick a hole in the speaker, pull the plug, then I jet. I mean, that's Marsau. He is not going to lose his cool for anybody. And that's who he is. And he's sticking to it. So then they're there. They're having this awkward exchange of conversation. What are we going to do? Who wants to renew their vow? Anybody want to do some renewals? And then, of course, Tiffany and Lewis say, we'll do it. Mind you, they've only been married for 11 months. So is the ink dry on your license, your marriage license anyhow, people? So they do it, and nobody's paying attention. Everybody's like having their own little side conversations in the background. You see like Marsau making faces, Destiny making faces. Marsau made a little joke like, what hell, have been married for 11 years? And Destiny took that as like, are you making a dig at me? No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean you. They're all making these faces in the background. So that awkwardly happens. And then, you know, they head on over to a restaurant to what's his name? Master Chef guy. Chef. I can't even think of his name, and I watched that show. You know, they head over to his restaurant in Vegas. And it's funny how they had the table set up. It's just one long table, and they're all kind of sitting like they're at the Last Supper versus they didn't naturally seat it, I guess because they were on a balcony and cameras couldn't get right there. But anyhow, they're all having a discussion, and the question comes up, do you value happiness? And Marsau was like, I mean, he's like, happiness? I do not know. But the Reverend Martin Luther King does. No, Marsau basically says he's been pretty much depressed. And he is of that mindset and a lot of people are of this mindset. I actually kind of feel like my parents were of this mindset. My father just passed on Christmas Day, 2020. My parents would have been married 55 years had he made it to New Year's Eve, because that was their anniversary. But I'll never forget at their 40th anniversary, they said sometimes they stayed together because they were afraid to see what happened on the outside. And everybody all the people in the crowd, a bunch of married couples, were laughing and cheering it on. And I was like, that's strange. But hey, that's very much so people's mindset. We're going to endure this misery. And I'm not saying my parents were miserable, but I don't know. They made it 55 years, but I just feel like people have the mindset, we're going to endure this. We rather suffer than separate, than be happy. And like Marsau even said on one episode, if it wasn't for the kids, like his auntie told him, who'd been married 27 years, sometimes the kids are worth staying together for. Because kids need happy parents. Like Dr. Phil once said, a kid knows when their parent is unhappy. So you might as well go and get happy, because happy parents raise happy children. So, but Marsau says he's depressed. I don't know if I believe that he's depressed, or maybe they're just making this a platform from the show, because at the end of the show they have a disclaimer. Martell, they say, we celebrated 10 years with y'all, my wedding, and 15 years with you. And then Melanie's like, well, we ain't going to unfortunately, we're not going to be able to celebrate with us. And Martell like, the host's going to have a wedding. We're going to be celebrating. I'm going to be married again. Hell, I might even marry Mel. And Mel's like, And he's like, yeah. And in her confessional, she's like, I just want Marsau to move on. I mean, I would be happy if he just moved on. And it's just funny how Martell ruined the marriage, essentially. I mean, I know it takes two to tango, but he outwardly ruined the marriage by having all these affairs, but he really wanted to be married. Like, he felt like he was a great husband, but part of being a great husband, you can't be a great husband if you were cheating on your wife for 5 years and have an outside baby. How does that make you a great husband? Anyhow, the episode ends, and of course, next week we're going to come back to continue drama. Tell me what you think, like and subscribe.